Hey guys, welcome back. I've been wanting to do a video that's just kind of a post-mortem, if you will, sort of a crash investigation of exactly what has happened over the course of the last few days with the OGL situation with Wizards of the Coast. And I thought about releasing it this weekend, but I wanted to condense it down into a few bullet points here. So that's what I've done. I hope you appreciate this. I hope it's thought-provoking. And of course, please give the video a like if it is. Leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on all of these points, any of these points, anything I didn't touch on. And as always, if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications. That's super helpful because let me tell you, you guys, your support, your outpouring of appreciation during this whole situation has been just amazing. We are at almost 4,000 subscribers on the channel, which is huge numbers for me. So that's just been absolutely fantastic, and I thank you all so very, very much. And just before we get into this, I want to let you know that this video is brought to you by Hellebarde Games. Our friends over there at Hellebarde, they publish the modules that they would like to play, with offerings for OSR, Castles and Crusades, and 5th edition. No matter what rules are in use, old school gaming is at the table. You can purchase their modules directly from the website at hellebardegames.com or get them on DriveThruRPG. That's Hellebarde Games. So with that said, let's kind of jump right into this, and I'm sort of working off some notes here, and so if you see me looking down, well, that's why that is. First point, how did we get here? So mid-month, Motley Fool, which is a financial sort of an investor's news website, they mentioned this whole debacle that was going down, but they framed it in terms of what an investor should look out for. And most interestingly, towards the end of the Motley Fool's article, they kind of issued a warning on buying Hasbro. And I'm made to understand that that's just not something that they normally do. That's a very rare thing that they do that. So that was kind of the first step. So the first rumblings that things were not okay beyond just what we D&D players feel. So then Wizards attempted to mollify fans with OGL 1.1. and some very sketch language towards us with statements like, oh, you won, but we won too. You guys remember that? That was just a few weeks ago, how unctuous that was. Well, that fell completely flat. Now, Hasbro and Wizard stocks tended to slump a little during the month. They were up sometimes, but they were down. And it didn't help that there were cancellations on the heels of this of many thousands of D&D Beyond accounts. Many thousands. I've heard upwards of 40,000 people canceled their D&D Beyond accounts. And yes, I get it. Wizards of the Coast make hundreds of millions of dollars a year. That's going to affect somebody's bonuses. That's going to affect a bottom line somewhere. Finally, just the day before or the day of Wizards kind of issuing their declaration of ceasefire, if you will, there was the announcement by Hasbro that they were cutting 15% or about 1,000 jobs in an attempt to try and financially shore things up, because guess what? Just like the Motley Fool had said, they were starting to hit some financial rocky times. So this is my personal opinion. I think all of those factors put together meant that there were some heated phone calls between the boardroom at Hasbro and at Wizards of the Coast of people saying, mollify them, fix this, get them to stop impacting the bottom line. We got to shore up somewhere. We got to stop the bleeding. Just do whatever it takes. Back off. We'll take a step back and we'll figure out what to do with this initiative later. But for now, back off. So personally, my opinion is that was a temporary fix. And for the time being, we've won, but I'll get into that a little bit later. So that kind of brings us to point number 2. Did our complaints make a difference? Well, yes, but also no. From what I'm hearing, feedback comments is stuck strictly to matters of the rules they asked about and features of the game and yes or no questions. Do you like OGL 1.1? Do you want OGL 1.0A to go away? Things like that, they listened to. This information got backstocked, compiled, and listened to. People who went into the surveys and just vented their spleens and used every comment box and every character in the comment box and multiple exclamation points and invectives and everything else got thrown right out. So as I said from the beginning, let your displeasure be known to them, but be polite and be direct and address the points is what they paid heed to. So again, that's a yes or no thing. Number 3, how does this impact the creative development community? A lot of developers have already stated their intent to support the ORC, which is an open license resource put together largely by Paizo, but other companies are coming in to support it as well. They will supposedly have a completely neutral steering group in charge of this. But how neutral that'll be, I don't know. Guys, it's not a matter of the paint not being dry yet. There's still people painting on the walls as we speak with this stuff. So we'll just have to see what settles out. But there's a lot of developers that immediately pulled up anchor and set sail away from Wizards of the Coast. And many people have said, nope, I'm not looking back. I'm not placing my financial well-being into Wizards' hands ever again. We're gone. We'll find some other way to do this. Other people are saying, okay, all right, well, we'll wait and see. And that's kind of where I am. And I know that's where a lot of you guys are. You're in wait and see mode to develop things. Now, of course, the biggest part of that, I think personally, is number 4. How has this affected players? One of the most interesting aspects of this whole debacle is how we, as a gaming community, I'm not just a guy who writes stuff. I play stuff, all right? I've got an AD&D game happening tonight. I've got an AD&D live stream happening tomorrow night. And I know a lot of other people who've got games that, whether you're all the way down here on the, I use chainmail and homebrew rules to play a proto D&D, up to my team is getting ready, my D&D group is getting ready to jump into 1D&D, and everybody in between. We stood united as a front and said no thank you to these attempts to modify the OGL, to create these cockamamie rules on D&D Beyond, and so forth. We stood up and we made our voices heard. Whether you yelled at them through social media, the nice turn of events, social media working for people, or you went and you again politely filled out their surveys. However you did it, we made a difference, and we moved together as a community to go after something we didn't like. Original D&D, basic D&D of any stripe, first, second edition AD&D, third edition D&D, fourth, fifth, we were united. Now, I've kind of seen some cracks starting in that already. But guys, I hope we can remember that we are stronger together than we are as individuals, because that's just how it is. All right? We can hang together or we can hang separately. And that brings us to point number 5. Are we safe now? And that's the $50 question. From what people are telling me, the System Reference Document 5.1 being moved into Creative Commons makes it inviolate. You can develop because you'll be using something from the Creative Commons. You'll be able to take something that is open and free for anyone to use and develop from it with no repercussions. That can never be taken out now that it's been put under the Creative Commons. That's my understanding, but I'm not a lawyer. And people have said, well, this now means that OGL 1.A is redundant and it's not needed. That I'm not so sure about. That I am not so sure about. Wizards of the Coast has used words like, we're not doing anything with OGL 1.0A for now. It remains for now. But folks, I would sleep more comfortably at night. And I know there's a lot of people who actually put their heart and soul, that, you know, they crank out 10,000 words a day of D&D stuff, regardless of what edition it's for, who would be a lot more comfortable if they would just slip the word irrevocable into OGL 1.0A. Just tweak the language with a single word. I certainly would. And until that happens, I won't feel completely 100% safe. Because here's the thing, folks. Wizards of the Coast has the resources of a multi-million, if not multi-billion-dollar company. You might say, I'm going to keep publishing my clone of 3rd edition, and if Wizards of the Coast comes after me, well, they'll just have to sell it in court. Which is awesome if you're a largish company and maybe one of your game writers happens to be a lawyer and so on. But a little kitchen sink press person, they can't. And Wizards of the Coast has all the resources in the world from their parent Hasbro to bring you to heel in court. So I don't know how safe we are yet. And ancillary to that, perhaps 5A, are things over? I don't know yet. I wish I had a sure answer for you guys, but I don't know yet. You know, I said in the video on Friday, we've won the campaign, but the campaign is not the whole war. All right, we won key battles and we won the campaign. But remember your Sun Tzu, which is something they teach in every business school. Make your enemy believe he has won a major battle and thus lull him into a false sense of security, in a nutshell. So those are the 5 bullet points I've got, guys. You tell me what you think. Leave it in the comments below. I think there's still a few skirmishes left to be fought, guys. And it may be a while more before things are completely ironed out. But the thing you got to remember is be vigilant, stay on your guards, watch any announcements leaking out of Wizards, keep your ear to the ground for any rumblings in social media, that somebody maybe heard something, saw a document. But until then, guys, I'm here with you. We're here with each other. Stay positive, keep your eyes open, and I'll see you around. Peace.